Hello. We're trying a little bit of a different setup this week. Once a month we'll be doing our full ritual, but this week we are taking blessings and we'll be doing blessings every week. And we are going to answer some Q&A, and as you can see, we've got a lot of resource material in front of us. So, welcome everyone. Let's give the stream a few minutes to see if anyone else decides to come and join us. And I'm going to set up a couple other little things off to the side here so we can be ready in case we need to do any extra research. First of all, can everyone hear us fine? This is a new system. I'm seeing our microphones are open, but is everyone able to hear us okay?
Jessica says you can hear us. Sweet. Thank you, Jessica.
Awesome. We have about a 30-second lag now, so hopefully it can give us just a few seconds
Hey, Griff.
to kill the airtime in between, and here we go.
He says, hello, lovely people.
Hey, Griff. Thanks for joining us. All right.
Sweet. Glad you can hear us, Griff. Hey, cuz. Long time no see. Haven't talked to you in a while.
All right. We got some people joining us.
Yes, we do.
Lovely, lovely.
Griff says he doesn't hear the lag and that we sound and look great.
Awesome.
Sweet. It's going pretty good. Been busy. We moved from our place over at Leonard in College, and now we're over here at our new place. We're actually not too far from Connor, which is nice. Wish we could see him more often, but life is busy. Pretty sure you guys know about that as well. So, God, what else has been going on? Pretty sure you've heard of the new little on the way.
Lots of good things have been going
yeah.
on. Been staying pretty busy. And
Yeah. Not sure if you remember, but I'm legally ordained. So is hubby. What else? We've obviously got this going on now, so just constantly busy.
Okay, so would we like to light up the traditional incense for the evening?
Oh God, Griff is spamming. We love you too. Love you too.
All right, this week's incense is dragon's blood.
If I can write the fucking thing.
We got this.
Are we sure?
Yeah. Okay. In the coming weeks, we're going to be adding a little more production value to this. We've got this going through a bit of studio production software now. So that's why we have
Thank
this little bit of lag that we were talking about. That's kind of intended to where it gives 30 seconds more for everyone to give us their questions and allows us to move forward a little more smoothly as we learn the system. And it also allows us to add graphics or extra cameras, tickers, like for news tickers and stuff, and other information. It'll allow us to do a lot of things as we program it out better, and it'll allow us more control for more microphones and all sorts of fun stuff.
Well, come here.
So, very helpful stuff, and we hope to make the best out of it. And let me get my little window open here. Okay, we did get some blessing requests in, so
Well, come here.
if we've got any more blessing requests that would like to be put in, just put it into the comments and we'll get to those shortly. And also, you're all more than welcome to put in any kind of questions about the different paths of paganism that you might have. And as you can see, we've got plenty of
Reference.
a lot of reference material here. And
I still want more, though.
yeah, can never have too much. And anything we don't know right off the cuff, we would be able to look up through our references and even pull in offline, and we can have a nice little discussion. Are familiar. Okay, so is there anything you wanted to share with us this week? Or?
I'm exhausted, y'all. It's been a long, long weekend. 3-year-olds will do that to you. Not much time to sit and relax. It's been very, 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 very on the move. And I was hoping that since we didn't have anything like scheduled other than this, that we'd be able to have some downtime. No.
Yeah, we tried for the past 2 days to play a very specific video game with each other, and that's been the bane of our existence. Not being able to get that downtime we wanted to get in, but thinking we'll make time for it. Okay. Well, without further ado, we've got at least 2 blessing requests in right now. And
You're free to add any blessing requests in the comments while we are doing this. Like we said at the beginning, this is going to be a very laid back night. We're not going to have any sort of rhyme, reason, organization to it. It's just we're just going to go with the flow. We're not doing ritual this week. We will be doing it once a month, primarily around the solstices, equinoxes, and the other holidays. So, if like for 1 month, we might have to go like a couple weeks or more between rituals, but I'm pretty sure everyone will be okay with that. At least we hope.
we're all trying out a bunch of different things and ideas here and trying to see what works and what doesn't. And most importantly, we're trying to have fun, and we're trying to share our belief systems and share whatever wisdom we can impart with all of you viewers.
Mm-hmm.
So, without further ado, what should we go into first for our first topic tonight?
I guess we can kind of go into at least some of the stuff that I set out here tonight. As per usual, we put our incense stick out. It's helping cleanse the mood because the mood was pretty sour tonight before we got on live. So it's helping. Tonight I brought out my tarot deck. I don't get to use it much, unfortunately, but I do love it to death. It called to me during Pagan Pride one year here in Grand Rapids, and I knew I had to get it, and it's been my love ever since. We've also got my runestone set out. Odin's is over by the altar right now. I'm leaving it up to.
I might get it at some.
Might bring it out just so
It's
you guys
lovely.
can see it.
It's a lovely rune set.
Gorgeous rune set. He's got an amazing Thoth deck. So, yes, he is very, very excited to at some point put it to use.
And to speak of like the runes for a minute, there's a couple ideas that we've been trying to set up. We've been trying to think of maybe a grid system that we would lay out on the table and lay out the runes, because usually, as you can see, these runes are in a bag, and usually what a person would do is they would have an individual that they're doing the reading for draw their runes from the bag. And if we're doing that online, that makes it very, very difficult. So what we're trying to think of is a way to where we can shuffle out the runes and make it as random as possible and just have people pick the runes they want to draw through naming the grid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a guided intuition type of divination like you would have with doing tarot readings. It's more up to the individual that you're giving the reading for to pick out their fortune, so to speak. Speaking of runes, there's we've been doing a lot of study, and we've got a book of runes right there, and
this is my baby.
and we're very excited about bringing that divination through and working with that.
Jessica says sounds like a good idea.
Thank you very much.
All right. So yeah, it'll be pretty simple. It will probably just be some runes like on some like index cards or just some sort of card stock that we have face down, have them shuffled across a grid, and we just have someone just pick, hey, you know what, B1, C3, and whatever. And then we'll grab those cards, we'll flip them, or we'll flip them over and be like, oh, these are the runes that you picked. This is your reading.
And on special occasions, I will pull out my rune set, and they are made from water buffalo, so water buffalo bones.
Mm-hmm.
So they are actually really, really decent runes.
I think I picked quite well.
Yes, you did. Thank you. It was a wonderful, wonderful gift to be given. Okay, so we spoke a little bit about divination, and say there's not many people familiar with the art. What would be one thing that you would like to impart, other than to be careful?
Yeah. One thing we will openly admit, or at least I will, Ouija boards will not be played with. That's a bit of magic that we are not okay messing with.
That's more in the channeling bin.
Yeah, that's more in the channeling bin, but it's still kind of like a subsection of the divination department. However, yeah, we don't dabble in the Ouija board. Too many things can happen with that, good and bad. So We do stick away from the Ouija board. Just heads up. The biggest thing that I can think of is it can be amazing therapy, but I wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't tell someone to completely base their life decisions just on it alone.
Yeah.
Use it as a tool. Use it kind of like a guide, but I would not say, oh, hey, since the cards told me this, I have to do this. No.
It's more like an opinion.
Yes. Kind of like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. It's the same thing. We can give you as much information as possible that the cards read to us, or the runes read, but it's ultimately up to you, the client, or whatever we want to call them. It's ultimately up to you to decide how to take that information and apply it to your life.
And we're all still human, so
Yes.
even no matter what we do when it comes to divination, we could always be wrong because we could be misinterpreting, or we could still be learning how things stack together in certain
We could still be
relation
just getting,
with each other.
and also we could also be still in the process of building a connection to our craft, to our works, like
To our tools of
to our
divination.
tools. Yes, because just because you are drawn to an item, like I was drawn to my vampire tarot deck, I've still got a lot of work to do to learn about it, to get more connected to it. So, and that takes time. So as of right now, if I were to do a card reading, it might not be exact. It might not be, how do I put it?
Accurate.
Yes. It might not be accurate, or at least close to accurate. So, with me, having to practice more, I should be able to get better at it, and the accuracy will go up.
And like we mentioned in the last stream, that is something that we will be working on doing later on in this adventure, and it'll be an after stream thing where if we've got the energy left to do it, because this what we're doing right here is the main slice of what we're trying to get to, next to the rituals that we do and perform, and the things we speak of within the sanctuary and getting the word out. A lot of what we want to do is provide education, answer questions, bring up different topics of interest, and there's so much to go through.
Oh yeah.
But if there's anyone that has any particular deity they heard about and want to learn more about, you are more than welcome to ask, and we can pull up some research and share what we can get. We've got a stack of books about deities, and we also have correspondences, so we could talk about a lot of astrological stuff and
Meanings of colors, of gemstones, or just stones in general. The cardinal directions. It's a laundry list, guys. It's
a lot of the stuff that we deal with is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years old. A lot of the research that I'm doing right now, I think I mentioned this last stream, was up to 44,000 years old at the oldest, and studying ancient errata, and I've been actually building a theory of how individuals from errata had immigrated out to the east into Mesopotamia and off into the north and west into Europe and
The Germanic regions.
the Germanic regions of Europe, and I've actually been studying and trying to find how the runes are actually related to Sumer Akkadian script and language. So there's a lot of things I've been trying to study and learn about, and that's more of my academic endeavors, but it's always good to be having an academic interest in.
But he's always willing to have someone to bounce ideas and thoughts off of. So if you are interested, please contact him.
And if you have any academic facts that I might have overlooked, that's what I need. That's what I absorb. I'm just researching and researching and researching. So any kind of academic information you could provide outside of like Zachariah Sitchin, that would be great. That's a great author to get introduced to the subjects and start learning about things, but they have some pretty wild theories themselves, and I want to come up with my own wild theory. So, okay, moving forward.
How about a study partner?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not so sure the cat liked that idea, however, but...
Okay, so we need to come up with more topics.
Yes.
We like to leave enough ideas open to where people can suggest things to speak about, and trying to look at the chat. I've got it over there. I know. Okay, so that is up to date?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I've been keeping an eye on both.
Awesome, because last week it was not staying up to date.
It was lagging. Like Owen was saying at the beginning, or towards the beginning, we do have the stream up on our TV, on our Xbox. But we also have our phones going too, as well, so we can see it a lot quicker on our phones, but it is popping up on our TV as well. It's just taking an extra few seconds.
Over there on our production computer, I've got a vision of what's going to be going out in a few minutes, and that's going to be funny to watch.
It's like 30 seconds.
But yeah, about 30 seconds. But we've also got a live chat, so we're seeing chat as you guys are bringing it up, and then we have about 30 seconds to respond. So.
Well, 30 seconds from our response till you see it.
Yes.
So
it's a good lag, but what I was saying before I lost my own little train of thought there is that we need to start developing some topic plans to where we know each week what we would like to speak about and bring up, and also leave the chat open enough to where we can make this more of a discussion, because we don't want it to be us just talking to you and rattling off our ideas for I don't know how long. We want it to be something you could really take something away with and learn something from, and maybe we can learn from you too. Because that's one of the things is we're always learning. There's so much that we just simply don't know. There's things that we won't find in these books, that we won't find on the web, that you just learn from years of practice, and that you learn from years of study and careful trial and error about how you practice your craft. Now, one of the things that we want
hey,
to...
Jen.
we want to discuss is that we have a very wide field view on what paganism is. So, I mean, we even respect Buddhism as a path. We look at old documents like the Enuma Elish. We look at, yeah.
That's more you.
Yeah, I know, but the Epic of Gilgamesh, but these involve gods and goddesses that are still worshipped to this day. But so there's like a wide field view of what paganism is. You've got to understand that in traditional times, pagans didn't call themselves pagans, and they didn't call the belief systems paganism. They were called pagans, and their faiths were labeled paganism. So it's like everybody was just shoved off into this dustbin, and for believing a certain way, and so we're kind of respecting everyone that got thrown into that bucket with us and trying to embrace it to the best of our ability. I mean, it's something to be proud of in history, where you've come from and how far you've gone. How can you ever know where you're going if you don't know where you've been? And that's a lot of the problems we face, is there's a lot that's lost and we're trying to recover it. So if anyone wants to help me on those endeavors, more than welcome to. I'm trying to find everything I can about lost paths. But I think I'm crowding up the airspace and let you speak for a minute.
I'm letting you enjoy the limelight a moment ago.
Of course. So, as you can see, my reference over here is fairly small. I've got a book outlining a whole bunch of world faiths with brief descriptions, and it's like in depth with a lot of faiths. And I've got a wonderful pocket Havmal, which is sort of like the Germanic pantheon's doctrine. So that's fun. It's respectful too. That's one of my major things I'm studying and rereading and learning now. I spoke a little bit last stream that though I am Odin, and that's how I'm known to everyone, I have a matron goddess, and believe it or not, they are not a Germanic deity. I am drawn to the deity Inanna, which other people also know as Ishtar. And one of the wonderful things...
Which is the basis of Ostara.
Exactly. That's where I was going with this.
Sorry, I cut it a little too early, my bad.
And that observance is coming up, so it's a very exciting time for me, because this is something that was, yes, and it's about fertility, it's about love, it's about war and poetry and song. And
well, this one's also due around that time too.
Yes, this one right here is due around that time. And down in the southern hemisphere, it'll be Mabon. So that's a very interesting time for our friends south of the equator, because it's their fall and
their harvest.
So as we're getting ready to plant, they're getting ready to make it through the winter themselves. So it's a very interesting time how things shift and adjust and undulate through this beautiful world. But why don't we talk a little bit about... Oh, I got the hiccups. Why don't we talk a little bit about some of the pantheons that draw you, and any of the deities that may call out to you.
All right. Goodness. I follow several pantheons. I follow the Norse, so I follow Odin, Freya, Loki. I, that's part of the basis for Valk's name was the Valkyries, in that pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually close to my heart of, naming our oldest.
Mine too.
Yeah. Goodness. I'm not so sure who I'm most drawn to out of that pantheon.
It just calls to you in general.
Yeah, it just calls to me in general.
It does to me much the same.
Yeah. Well, then again, your name is you go by Odin, so. I also follow the Greek pantheon as well. I don't follow Zeus. I know everyone has their own opinions. I think he's just a man whore. Let's just be real. He wants to screw everybody. Just saying. It's true. If you read the books, if you read the history, he was a man-hound. But, and the fact that Hera didn't try to whoop his ass for all the times that he messed around on her, I gotta give that woman some mad props. I've got to. Because she's got some strength that, goodness, must be of a frickin' goddess. But, no, I have a lot of respect for Hera. She's the goddess of marriage, like strength, and, God, she puts up with a lot of shit. Aphrodite, I do worship Aphrodite. She is the goddess of love. Ooh, I love Persephone and Hades.
Yeah, Persephone has a interesting kind of mythology similarity with Inanna. Even there's a underworld story about Inanna. Only instead of some say it was a pomegranate where that Persephone ate, and if you ate or consumed food in the Hellenistic underworld, you were supposed to stay there for eternity. But she only ate 6 seeds of a pomegranate, so she's supposed to be down there 6 months of the year, if I'm correct. And with Inanna, she had to negotiate through 6 gates of the underworld in the Mesopotamian stories, yes, mythologies and stories, or even you can call it doctrine. But they have some very interesting similarities that I would definitely suggest anyone to do further reading with.
There's like several versions of the story of Persephone and Hades. Several say that he kidnapped her and dragged her back to the underworld, away from Zeus and Hera and her family in the overworld. But the story that most calls to me with Persephone is that her and Hades fell in love, and that she, during the winter time, she goes to the underworld to be with her husband because she falls in love and she ends up marrying Hades. So during the winter months, she goes, and with her goes all of the life of the earth. So all of the, plants, they kind of, drift away, and they're not as vibrant because the beauty of Persephone, because Persephone was gorgeous, we've got to just say that. So Persephone, took her beauty and the beauty of the world with her to the underworld to spend this time with Hades. And then it's around this time of springtime of Ostara, during the spring equinox, when she makes her return to the earth. And with her, she brings all of the beauty of the earth back with her. So that's where all the fertility, all of the wonderful flowers, the leaves, and everything returns back to the earth. And
I've also heard some stories and studies where Demeter actually mourns Persephone.
yes, Demeter does. She very, very much misses Persephone.
Sorry for
No, it's
interjecting
fine.
there.
It's fine. So yeah, as you can tell, I really, really love that story. It's definitely held close to me. God, what else? I can't really think.
See, this is good practice for running thought.
I know, and it just clogs my brain up.
Well, the more we do it, the better we'll get.
Yeah, eventually.
This is almost like a talk show format. But, since we're probably about our midway point, let's see.
It's almost 10:30.
Yeah, we should be close to our midway point. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a last call for blessings and
Questions as well. So yeah, if you guys have any blessings that you would like us to give out tonight, or if you have any questions whatsoever, be it about paganism in general, be it about Sanctuary of the Phoenix, even if it's weird questions about us, we'll do, we'll take it to the best of our abilities to answer them. Just go right ahead, comment them in the chat of the video here. We will respond to them as they pop up. So whatever order they pop up is the order we will take them. So we will do our best to not miss anybody.
Okay, our first blessing that came in tonight comes from Jessica, and we were asked if we could do a blessing for everyone's health and well-being. So,
Do you want to lead this one since I led last time?
you're pretty good at leading the blessings.
You gotta learn how to do it too.
I know. So how about I lead, or you lead this one and I'll lead the next one, because we only have two. And there's
So-
two of us.
Okay. Alright. We ask the gods and goddesses this evening to please watch over all of us, give us all such good health and well-being. It's a real rough time of the year. This is where a lot of colds, flus, and sicknesses are running around rampant. And I know none of us here want to be sick. So we ask the gods and goddesses, please send the good healing energies, send the good vibes, the good fortune to us so that we aren't sick this season. Blessed be.
Blessed be. All right. And the next one we have is from Alex. And she had asked if we could do a blessing for her friend Wayne. He's going through a really tough time and dealing with some really tough things right now. So I would like to ask the gods and goddesses to give some guidance and comfort to Wayne with everything that they are going through at this time, and to help them in the best way that they possibly can. They know what to do in these situations. So may Wayne be blessed, and may he be comforted, and may the best possible outcome manifest for Wayne. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Okay. So we've got a couple blessings done, and as you can see, she's a little more animated than I am. I'll get better with it. But thank you for letting me have that money.
You need to learn, dear. You need to
Yeah, I'm always trying to be a little better than I was the day before. It's a tough time. Yeah, we're using coffee mugs and stuff because we don't want to show logos on screen. We don't do much for product placements or advertisements. We're not sponsored content. But we'll tell you if something works really good or works really well.
We will offer suggestions.
And we'll tell you what we use as well.
Yes.
Because that's one of the biggest things I was always trying to learn when I began expanding my horizons is what do they use? Where do they find things? Where do they source things? How do they get their hands on these materials? And we've got some really great knowledge in that department now that we wish we would have had years ago, even in our own independent journeys. And we think that's worth sharing. So we don't do any sponsored contents or advertisements per se, but we will say what we use and what we work with
and what we find to work best with us.
Yeah.
Because let's admit it, there are some products that are better than others.
And there's some really wonderful, well-crafted products out there. And we've got a few crafters out there that do just magnificent things and keep good stocks in stores and make a lot of things that are very hard to find accessible. So
yeah,
that's always good to have.
They're an amazing friend.
Yeah, and amazing friends. Wise too, very wise.
Very.
And tonight our little one seems to be
Asleep. Let's hope.
asleep or watching TV. They're calm.
Yeah, they're not out here screaming and bugging us, so we're gonna take it.
They only came after us once last weekend. During stream, they came out like once. You have to go.
I think I went and checked on them,
We should probably still do that too.
but should I?
We could take just a few seconds. We are parents after all. We're noticing our little is being a little extra quiet. So we always want to check up on that. It's not always a bad thing. Sounds like it's a good thing. Yep, it's a good thing. Okay, well, speaking of being parents, we got this wonderful little one that's on the way, and
Yes.
it's going to make this a very fun time. So as we're moving further into these streams, there's going to be a lot more interruptions. So that's one of the things we're
Gonna have to work with.
Yeah. We're regular people. We're just a regular couple.
Regular?
Yeah, I guess. Regular.
Okay, at least you didn't say normal, because we are far from freaking normal.
Don't even get it started. We're normal in a lot of ways. Well, we argue. Look at us now. Anyways, we're gonna be filled with a lot of life's interruptions, so hey, let's just work with what we got, and we're thankful for the time we get to spend with everyone. I'm going to get my window onto the chat screen because that's what I keep looking for.
Alright, we are not sure if anyone has posted anything in the chat because we've not seen anything pop up lately. So if you are if you're posting any questions or anything into the chat, we are not seeing them currently. So if need be, please private message them to us as even because we can still read them as they pop up because it'll pop up on the side of our phones. So yeah, if you're noticing that we aren't recognizing that you're posting a question or whatever you're wanting to let us know, please do so in private IMs. You can do so by going to Odin Wind or to Rachel Keck. So you're more than welcome to go ahead and private message those to us, and we'll try to answer them as quickly as possible on the stream here.
Okay.
Okay, so you and I are
Okay.
both at the same
We are
spot.
caught up. And again, we're at the home stretch of everything here, so we thank everyone for viewing, and
Yeah, we're probably not going to be staying on too much longer, guys, because probably for another, I don't know how many minutes. Depends on if questions pop up.
questions, blessings,
Yes.
um,
Discussion topics.
yeah, we'd love to have a engaging discussion for a
Mhm.
minute. I mean, we always find time for that. Don't know how many people are with us right now.
Says 3.
Okay. I think we had a few people refresh their streams when we said we don't know if we're getting messages.
Yeah.
So, and that's always fine. If you ever need to refresh the stream, more than welcome to do so. I hear my studio computer is working really hard over there.
Yeah.
It's not even processing that hard. Okay. Well, let's pick out a couple more topics, and if no one else has any last topics to add, then we can finalize the stream. Let's keep going a little longer, and we can get some good rest after, and because we do this at night when it's easiest, because I don't think we'd get very far.
With a little.
Yeah, with Valcop, he would make it very interesting to watch. But
Never a dull moment.
nothing would go according to plan.
We would not be able to do the incense. We'd not be able to sit here and actually have a conversation.
He'd be grabbing the books.
And I'd cry. I would straight up cry because these books mean like everything.
And he'd probably knock the camera down because it's we got wires going across rooms and stuff, and so it'd be pretty interesting. But it would have some great comedic value to it.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so
Yeah, we're still not seeing anything popping up, guys.
yeah, we have a lot of deities we need to continue to learn about. I mean, there's so many. But
And there's even still paths of paganism that we have yet to study. So there's tons of gods and goddesses that we have not even heard of. So it's definitely a very much a learning experience for us.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of deities in Native American paths that we're really working to learn. We're reaching out to the local tribes and stuff, and trying to find out a lot about their traditional rituals and spiritual beliefs and deities. And then we have like the Polynesians belief systems that we need to learn about.
I got in my book.
And then there's also Asiatic ones, and there's a lot of lore that we still need to learn, and we want to be well in depth and embracing.
Ooh, ideas to start teaching the littles.
And they have a little really close to our little's age. So.
Oh, like what have we done? Well, one thing that we decided this past year, instead of celebrating the C word on December 25th, because it's a little hard to celebrate holidays around that time of year, especially when you celebrate holidays that aren't the social norm. Many families in the world celebrate that holiday on the 25th. Our family is one of the many who do not. So we wanted to come up with an idea of how would be best to celebrate, have like a mini celebration that day, but also to keep it as respectful as possible to our beliefs. And so it's actually quite funny how we came up with the idea. Little one loves the show Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. Now, Daniel Tiger is a creation of Mr. Rogers, and he was very, very openly Christian. Many of us who've grown up on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood know this. But Mr. Rogers was very much about ensuring that all children who watched his shows felt included and accepted and welcomed and loved. And so he never once shoved his belief system into his show, because he felt that that was not a healthy thing to do to children. And so what he would do is he would try to make it as, life lesson, moral as possible.
Just good values.
Yes, good values for sure. And so when he was getting ready to pass away, he had requested that his team continue his legacy and continue it with a cartoon version of his show. And they ended up making Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, ultimately from it. Well, it got to be a holiday episode for Daniel Tiger, and they decided instead of celebrating, they decided to call it Snowflake Day. And so instead of celebrating a Christian holiday, they were celebrating the joys of snow and snowmen, and so we kind of took that and we ran with it, because we were like, that's a great idea.
And the uniqueness of
it's
every
unique.
snowflake, and
Yep.
all the warmth that you get to spend with family, and
Watching the snowfall. And so we spent the day coloring snowflakes, making little snowflakes, and I think we watched the episode even.
Mhm.
And we had the blinds up on all of our windows so that little one could watch the snowfall, because it just so happened that the snow was falling here at the time. So it was really, really special for little one to wake up and run to the window and see the snow falling and go, "Oh, happy Snowflake Day!"
Now they do it all the time whenever they see it
Yes,
snowing.
whenever they see it snowing, they yell out "Happy Snowflake Day."
They'll get all excited and start squealing. And But when they're young, one of the biggest things you have to allow is for them to learn for themselves and to teach you. Um, they're always going to teach you who they are, and it's our duty as parents to guide them as safely as possible.
Well, and offer them the tools to.
Oh yes, of course.
To ultimately find the path that they feel best
So-
suits them, especially when they get older.
So I mean, they're very aware of nature, and they know that there are gods and goddesses, but we haven't really
We haven't gone into depth.
started naming them off to them.
We've left it very generic. We think that leaving it generic, especially at the age of 3, it's,
Yeah.
they're still learning about the world in general, and so we want to keep it very generic for them, so that they're not getting confused, and they know that we do a blessing every dinner time.
Yeah.
And oh goodness,
They
now
want blessing
it's
at breakfast now too.
breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of, it's nice because it's like, oh hey, you're finally get the hang of this. You know when we normally do this, so that's good. It's a routine, but then at the same time, it's like, wait, it's like, what? We don't normally do this at breakfast. We normally don't do this at lunch. We do this at night at dinner time, and so
Something in their nature. But as in depth as we've gone with deities with them is the Holly King and the Oak King,
yep,
because that plays a pivotal role for what
Yule.
we observe in Yule,
and
we
Astara.
we also observe solstice, the winter solstice. We do the summer solstice, and so we celebrate the year of the wheel, the year of the wheel, the wheel of the year. We celebrate the year of the wheel. Okay.
It's getting late, guys. It's getting late.
We can't just put that in the blooper bin. This is live.
I know. That was a good one, dude.
If at least one person out there laughs, then
But yeah, the best idea that we can give to start teaching the littles is be simple. Be very, very simplistic. Keep it. Hey, Rich. Just keep it as basic as possible, because for them, the a lot. I know that some children understand more, so really it depends on the child that is being taught. But for the most part, keep it as simple as possible, and then let them guide you. If they want to learn more, then they are ready to learn more. But you don't want to just like avalanche them with a bunch of information at once. So I think it's, pretty common sense to, just little snippets of information here and there. Just let them, dip their toe in the water, so to speak, and
get them acquainted with nature.
yes.
Let
Number
them see
one.
how things grow. Let them see how the animals eat and forage, and why it's so important that we protect nature and
Love Mother Earth.
yes, and that's a wonderful place to begin.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a value that really should be universal. And this is one world we live on. And it's the only world that we know of that holds life. So we should all do our parts to take better care of it. That's one thing we should really pass on to our children, and it's not that hard. Plant a tree, water a flower.
Give out seeds for birds and squirrels.
Yeah.
But don't do what we did, because then you'll just have, strings hanging from tree limbs.
Yeah. We put, about a month ago, we put seeds on pine cones.
We took pine cones. I
string.
put some peanut butter on it, which was.
You all know the project.
Yeah, we all know the project. I used the worst peanut butter for this stupid project, anyways.
But we've got a massive squirrel colony here.
Massive.
Massive. I mean, our toddler looks out the window and calls it Squirrel Town.
Because literally it is.
And we got these squirrels about as big as our cat that come up and they grabbed up onto these and they chewed the string off and then they just ran off with the whole thing.
Pine cone and everything.
And there was one that lasted 3 days. 3 days was the longest.
Even.
And so now we just throw seeds out there.
Yeah, it's.
And the birds come.
And the boonies.
The bunnies. Oh yeah, we attracted bunnies. And so.
And we still get a shit ton of squirrels.
Yeah, but the squirrels are very standard.
Yeah, especially
but they're cute. We got brown squirrels and black squirrels
and grays. You are very, very welcome, Jessica. We hope that helps you with your little, with working in the craft and simplicity.
Yeah, real simple. Just respect nature
and then once you get the foundation, then we build on it.
And I'd say build after they've shown their foundations and interests. Just look into deities that might be interesting to them, but I would say probably just let them learn about nature until about 5 or 6 at least.
I say whenever they're ready.
Whenever they're ready is the best answer.
That's the biggest thing is they need to be ready to learn.
Yeah. Like we like even within our sanctuary we have like youth education programs, but we focus mostly on just good peer interaction and learning about nature primarily up until a certain age. And then when they're in their young teens is when we allow them to have their first steps towards membership. We don't like locking a mind into a belief system before that mind is able to think for itself. So there's a lot of belief systems out there where children are just brought up programmed. And we find that very, very sad. There's a specific place of worship in this town that was printing out different politicians on mugs and having children go to the altar and smash the mugs with the politicians on them, announcing that their love of their faith was more important than the government. And we think ideologies like that, it's really dangerous. And this is a very scary
especially
time.
for developing minds.
Yeah, because you're raising a mind and giving them a very impressionable moment where they just do not care about established order. And I think that does more to remove a developing mind from society and isolate it. And
oh boy.
that's one thing that we're not okay with. So we're working very carefully in how we develop our youth education programs for our sanctuary, because we don't want it to be something that would necessarily isolate an individual from being functional. And we're back. Okay, I think we're back.
Please let us know. Please, somebody.
We just had a major dip in our connection. I think we're back. It looks like we still got 3 viewers.
So yeah, if someone could still let us know that we're still here, that'd be awesome.
Even just wave, thumbs up. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, the studio platform just
Had
crashed
a minor,
out for a minute.
Had a minor little crash out, but it's back working.
Yeah. Okay, so we're golden. Okay, one last topic for tonight. If anyone wants to give a topic suggestion, that would be wonderful. Otherwise,
Oh, and the whole oh boy was a notification popped up from Wood TV8 talking about the incoming storm coming tonight through tomorrow.
that would be a wonderful thing that we could talk about right now.
Massive storm
this
and cold front coming in.
this upcoming week is going to be really, really cold. And so we want to make sure to remind everyone to stay as safe as possible.
Yeah, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Stay warm. Dress accordingly for the weather. Try to cover as much exposed skin as possible.
Yeah.
All the news stations are clearly even the National Weather Service is saying cover your face, cover as much of your body as you possibly can. Don't expose it to the cold, and they're even saying don't let your skin be exposed for more than 10 minutes. So
Yeah, we're talking temperatures are being forecasted for upwards of negative 57 degrees on the wind chill factor. That's far colder than you could spit and it'd be frozen by the time it hits the ground. That's temperatures where your eyelashes begin to freeze together. These are temperatures where it's just not good at all. I mean, it's too cold for cars to even start properly unless you've got a heated garage or the like. So there's going to be a lot of complications in this upcoming week. These are going to be record-setting lows. Some of the natural lows, not talking wind chill, but just natural lows without the wind chill, I've been seeing as low as negative 23 degrees.
yeah.
So there's heating stations throughout the town that we live in, Grand Rapids. The city keeps an accurate list of those if you go to the city website. Otherwise, if you're in need of a place to warm up, let us know. I'm almost always here.
You just have to deal with a very, very inquisitive 3-year-old that likes to climb on you.
Try to be your best friend.
Yeah.
So, and yes, Jessica brings up a blessing for the safety during the storm.
Yes.
This is going to be quite the storm. Michigan is finally being Michigan.
Yeah. Well, Michigan's been Michigan. It's just we're finally getting the winter that we should have had a while ago. But yeah, let's definitely do this blessing because we all need it right now. We need to be protected, and hopefully we can all make it through this winter, at least this winter cold. So.
And if anyone in the city is in the northeast side of Grand Rapids and has their car break down or misses the bus and they're going to be out in it for another hour, just send me a message and we will be able to help you out here and let you know where we're at so you can warm up. We don't want you out there getting frozen.
Alrighty. Well, let's do this last blessing, and I guess we can probably close up for the night.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Our incense is burned out, so. Alright, everyone. We ask the gods and goddesses, please watch over everyone here in our area, in the Midwest, and everyone who's going to be affected by this severe ice cold blast that's hitting our country right now. It's going to be very, very cold. It's going to be deadly, and we need to be safe. We need to stay warm. So please send your nice, warm energies our way. Please send your guidance for us to be safe, and your wisdom for us to make smart decisions to survive this storm. We thank you for joining. We thank you, gods and goddesses, for joining us this evening throughout all of these blessings, and just for being here with us on this stream as well. So while we finish this blessing, we thank you for being here with us tonight. Blessed be.
Bless you.
Alrighty.
Okay, since we've gotten that one last blessing out,
Yes.
next week we'll probably be doing something very similar to this week.
Yep.
Be simple. We'll have the books out and ready to talk about topics, so feel free to come up with blessing ideas. Feel free to
Questions,
topics. We'll talk about a lot of things, and obviously for me it's the year of the wheel, so
Apparently. But yeah, just get a hold of us. Most of you know how to contact us via our private accounts. You can even send messages to Sanctuary of the Phoenix.
it'll get to us
and it
just
will
the
get
same.
to us just the same. We are more than welcome, or more than willing to answer questions. Like I said, answer questions on stream, do blessings. But yeah, definitely give us topics. What do you guys want? That's the thing. What do you guys want to hear from us? What would you guys like to learn? What would help you guys in your craft more? Is there any resources that you might be needing? Be it for education of the craft, supplies. We do have several friends who do run shops.
Wonderful supplies.
Wonderful supplies. So we can always get you in contact with these wonderful businesses for your own personal crafts. What else? Book suggestions. Like, we've got books here. If you're looking for something specific for a book, or for a topic, and you want to read a book on it, let us know. We will do the research. We will help you find that book.
Speaking of books, eventually when we get our sanctuary building, we do plan to have a study library where people can come in and access the books that we have on site and study them. We won't be doing a lone library not at least at this time, but it'll be a library where people can at least come in and sit down at in a nice quiet desk and read the books that we have on site, to study them and to learn from them and
make notes.
Yeah,
you know, in their own personal notebooks.
Yeah, and figure out what they want to further read, if they would like to invest in a copy of the book themselves.
Mm-hmm.
No hiccups again.
Oh goodness. Maybe we do need to go lay down.
Yeah, it's that time. It's that time of night.
So yeah, just get a hold of us, everyone. Let us know what you need from us, and we will do our best. So, all right, I think we are good here. I want to thank everyone for being here with us tonight. It's been amazing. I know it's been kind of drawn out, but oh well. You got to see some goofiness tonight, and hopefully it made at least some of you guys smile.
And we thank everyone for who's still here for being here. It's
Yes.
very much appreciated. And, we are glad for everyone who's tuned in and will tune in, because we seem to get a lot of views after we're done uploading. So
It's probably a lot of people watching
yeah.
the replay.
Mm-hmm. So that's one other last thing. If you're ever unable to make it to our streams at night, just give us any requests or any kind of messages you would like to pass on during the week, and then when we do our weekly stream, we can address that. So when you can watch, we can get your blessing out there and you can see it, and we can answer your questions and you can still see it, because we don't expect everyone to be able to make it here live for this.
Yeah, because for some people, 9, 10 o'clock at night, people are
Asleep, at work,
getting ready for bed, getting their kiddos ready for bed. Oh, scary.
Oh, we've had nights where our little just would not go to sleep.
Yeah.
So
So we know the struggle. So yeah, for anybody who can't make our stream during the day, we are thinking of you guys, and please send us any requests to Sanctuary of the Phoenix or to us privately, and we will definitely get to them.
and we'll start getting more than a 4-hour advance notice out.
Eventually.
Yeah,
It's
because
taken us some time.
we've got such limited energy.
Yeah.
We're still people at the end of the day that are very, very tired. So, well, thank you all for being here. We send
Our light and love.
and our blessings.
Yes, and our blessings. And we hope to see you guys all next week. We are expecting it to be roughly around the same time, same day. So next Saturday, about 9 to 10-ish. Could be even a slightly later start. It all depends on the little. So please be willing to just work with us, go with the flow. And we will get on at some point that night. We will typically, if we do not, on the off chance that we do decide to say, hey, we can't do a stream on a certain week due to some circumstance,
And
we will definitely notify you guys by some shape, form.
probably on the page.
Probably on the page.
Keep an eye on the page.
Yes, always keep an eye on the page.
We might pop on various times throughout the week and do little whatnots too. So
Maybe. We'll see how we feel. But for the most part, yeah, if we decide not to do a stream one week due to a circumstance or whatever, we will try to notify you as soon as possible to let you know, hey, this is what's going on, guys, so there won't be a stream this week, and we'll try to make it to where we don't miss more than 1 week. It'd have to be a serious thing for us to miss more than 1 week of a stream. So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, without further ado,
All right.
is it time to lead off the blessing for closing off?
My brain's not working tonight, dear.
It's just like the dinner blessing.
Okay. Well, I guess without further ado, may the gods and goddesses bless our home, our friends and family, and this stream. Blessed be. Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody. Okay.
Alright.
I really need a production keyboard over here.
Or you just need to bring the mouse over here.
Yeah, maybe. Good night.